If outer space is actually real, then how come every single video, picture, image is all computer generated? And they admit that. Even when they're like, we have a real video of Earth from outer space. In the fine print, it's like this is actually a conglomerate of a bunch of computer data compiled together and we made an image out of it. Was that actually an image, a raw photo of Earth? Or is it computer generated? They tell you in the fine print, and they always have, a lie in, it says lie right in the middle. I've never seen any proof of aliens existing, except for in Futurama. And Futurama is just predictive programming, with a bunch of hermaphrodites and people that don't have real genders, and then people flying around in outer space. But outer space doesn't even exist. So when Elon Musk is saying that we're gonna go to Uranus, you better be afraid. Anyways, you should listen to this guy. He's our god.
We found photos that will shock you. There is an opinion that photos of our planet are nothing more than Photoshop. Take a closer look at these photos. Doesn't anything seem strange? It is noticeable that some elements are repeated as if someone copied and pasted them. Duplicate locations are highlighted in squares. Now let's remember the fake photos from outer space. They show that the astronauts are in the pool. So what are they really hiding from us?
If the Earth is really rotating, then why are airplanes flying? They could just go up in air and stay in the same location and wait for the Earth to rotate and then land. Why do they need to fly? Isn't that concerning?
Watch this, y'all. Look at that plane. Look how fast these airplanes are going. Jets are going. Flat, sea level. Sea is level. There's a flat plane. Boat at the horizon. Just saying, it's flat. That was just to get you in here. It's flat. Love y'all. Crash out.
Can prove that the moon landings are fake with the logic, not having to look at any video clip or any picture. Today, with 5 decades better rockets and computers, the farthest that NASA can send an astronaut into space is only 1,000th the distance to the moon. So what they're really claiming, Danny, is that back in 1969, when all of NASA's computers combined had 1/1,000,000th the computing power of a cell phone, they sent astronauts ahead of schedule on the first attempt 1,000 times farther than they can do today with 50 years better technology. So what they're actually saying is for the first time in the history of the world, technology was greater in the past than in the future, which is impossible, which means they faked it. It's amazing. The truth is right there. And people have made a god out of this, and they refuse to see the truth.
Are the crew of the exploded Challenger space shuttle still alive? On January 28, 1986, Space Shuttle Challenger broke apart 73 seconds after launch, supposedly killing all 7 crew members on board. Or that's what they told us. It appears that many of these people are still alive or seen years after the accident. Francis Richard Scobie, the commander, is now software engineer. Sharon Krista McAuliffe, teacher in space, is now law professor in Syracuse. Ronald McNair acts now as Carl McNair, brother of Ronald McNair. Ellison Onizuka, the first Japanese-American astronaut, has a look-alike brother named Claude. Astronaut Judith Resnick looks like Professor of Law Judith Resnick at Yale Law School. And this is Mike J. Smith, and this is Professor Mike J. Smith. What is the mathematical possibility for such coincidence?
So why do you think they faked the moon landing?
The moon landing, that was 100% one of the biggest hoaxes that's ever been pulled on mankind. It just reinforces the narrative of the heliocentric model and the Big Bang and being here by accident. They've got to continue this narrative as new people are being born, and the visualization that the moon is this ball of rock in deep space. The general questions are out there. If Neil Armstrong was the first man on the moon, didn't the camera crew get there first to film that? And who was left behind to film the space module taking off again? Because NASA come up with this explanation that there was a robotic arm attached to the module that actually came out and then filmed him taking his first steps, which is not true because the angle of which the footage was taken is away from the module. So what robotic arm can come out that is away from the module? And then if the camera was left behind on the moon filming the takeoff, how did the footage return to NASA? They know that it's untrue, but they still continue to lie. And the question would be, if all these millions or trillions of dollars are going into space programs, where did the money actually go? If people aren't leaving the planet, the lie is already being exposed. The question is, where is the money going to fund the lie?
So a lot of people have asked here, how about the other 5 moon landings? I mean, NASA went to the moon 6 times, right? So here they are. First was Apollo 12 in November 1969. Yep, the same year as the first. The astronauts were Charles Pete Conrad and Alan L. Bean. Is there footage? Yes, but limited. The official reason is that the camera was accidentally pointed at the sun and broke early in the mission. Yes, you heard that correctly. Next was Apollo 14, January 1971. The astronauts were Alan Shepard and Edgar Mitchell. There is footage. It's the one where Shepard found time to hit golf balls on the moon. Next was Apollo 15. Date, July 1971. The astronauts were David Scott, James Irwin, and Alfred Worden. And the footage? This was the first mission with that lunar rover, which we have covered in detail in a previous video. Then there was Apollo 16 in April 1972. The astronauts were John Young, Charles Duke, and Thomas Mattingly. And the footage? Oh, there's lots to go and look over. Jumping around, more moon driving, and so on. And finally, Apollo 17 in December 1972. The astronauts were Eugene Cernan and Harrison Schmitt. Again, there is an abundance of footage, such as this, convincing craft, leaving the moon, and other such events. And they destroyed the technology from these trips, and nobody has been there since. Now you have the info, you can go watch all this footage on YouTube and make your own mind up.
Why would you create something out in outer space that you have to constantly go out into a harsh environment and fix? Couldn't they have taken some notes from the Navy and how they build stuff? But what they do is when they say they're doing a spacewalk, they're doing drills underwater, and then they present drills as if they're real.
They're not actually in space for these missions. They're being portrayed as their space missions, but they're actually just in water on Earth.
Correct. Yeah.
You really believe that in 1969, when televisions were still in black and white and folks were still using rotary phones, and most new cars sold in the United States didn't even have power windows or air conditioning, that we just strapped 2 cowboys into what was essentially a Coke can with a Chevy small block attached to it and just launched them out into orbit on nothing more than a hope and a dream?
Okay, I remain a flat earther until NASA produces a real picture of Earth that is not a CGI or AI generated. There are a million pictures, the ones we see. They are CGI or AI, artificially generated pictures, until they produce a real picture. A real picture is not as neat as a CGI. People cannot differentiate a CGI and AI picture. Until NASA produces a picture, a real picture of Earth as a globe. That is the time I'll start being a flat earther. Okay, another thing. for the earth to make a globe, there must be a percentage of curvature to complete the globe. And nobody, no scientist has found a curvature on earth. No matter how they look, the flattest earth, the flattest land, you can see very far if you have the right telescope. And if you had the right telescope, if there was a percentage of curvature, you could not see far. You see, because of the curve, the thing should disappear by the curve. So no curvature. No scientist has found a curvature. Let's come to the gravity. If you say it is the gravity, there is gravity, then the force of gravity that is supposed to hold the seas, if not their weight, it is their weight. The force of gravity that is supposed to hold the seas down here should pin the humans on the ground. That is a very great force. It should pin the humans on the ground. So, you wonder this gravity that will choose the sea and leave the humans just walking, that one is out. Okay, let us come to the shape of the sun. They say that the sun is at 93 million kilometers away. How far can a human eye see? Okay, a very few kilometers. But you can see 93 kilometers away according to the... Because right now if you look at the sun, you can see even the shape of the sun. Meaning it is just here. If it were 93 kilometers away, you could only see the light, not the source of light. You can see even the round shape. The source of the light of the sun, you can see it, meaning it is here. If it were 93 kilometers away, your eyes don't have that power to see that far. We could be only experiencing the light. Okay, let us go to the River Nile and Mississippi River, the big rivers of the world. Which direction do they go? The globers say that it goes up. A river going up. A river only follows the flat land, and it finds its own way on a flat land, no matter how long it is, my dear. Those points, I want a glober to come and remove me from being a flat earth. A flat earther. Those are the 7 things that no scientists have been able to prove up to now. Come.
The flat Earth map dates back over 1,000 years. This map is credited to being created by a Persian astronomer. His name was Al-Biruni and he lived between 973 AD to 1048 AD. It's the official map of the United Nations and also the United States Geological Survey. It used to be present in many places before the creation of NASA and the Antarctic Treaty in 1959. Here you see it with Admiral Byrd. This map has been restored by Dmitry from Russia with suggestions of mine, Idia Lenkar. Known by my YouTube channel Flat Earth Banjo, I asked Dmitry to include the Bermuda Triangle and Point Nemo, a place deep in the Pacific where NASA buries rockets. Then Robert Tozzi, a professional mapmaker, came along and enhanced the map even more. There are many people now selling this map online, but if you could order it from my online store, I would greatly appreciate it. Visit my online store now and order one of the items. I humbly thank you.